Right away, when I thought this, I actually felt like terror, like sheer terror. Hello everyone, this is Kimberly, and I'm feeling all sorts of things right now. Here I am talking to the camera and I have something very important to share with you. So the announcement is this: I am finally getting back to my tarot study stuff. For those of you who don't know, when I first started this channel, I was posting a lot of stuff about learning tarot, being a tarot reader, practicing tarot. I posted a lot of tarot exercises. I have this whole series about learning tarot through the framework of storytelling, stories of tarot. Each suit, like the suit of wands or swords, they're like kingdoms and they have distinct characteristics, and it's almost like this amazing RPG game that you sort of enter into, and it's like super fun and everything. And I did that for a while. I posted a lot of stuff on that. I even made a course for learning court cards called Level Up Court Cards, and I just kind of fell off the train. I kind of just fell off the whole thing that I was starting, and I thought that was done. You know, for the longest time I thought, okay, that was that. I'm a deck creator now. I'm gonna focus on just creating decks, but I can't stop thinking about it. One thing after another. Now I'm looking at my business. I decided to get back to it. Okay, so here's the once upon a time, right? I recently Marie-Kondoed my room. I did the KonMari method and I decluttered my room. And when you declutter your space, you declutter your mind space as well. And I just look at my life and I'm just like, it's so disordered. It's kind of like a lot of chaos. And I just feel like a lot of the things I'm just kind of like on autopilot, and I just want to be more intentional with everything that I do. Basically, I was trying to come to a decision about what I want to focus on for my creative online business, because I've been hustling for years and I've also resented hustle culture and all that. Now that I'm out of it, I'm considering a lot of things about my life and also my business, like how I want to show up in my business, what kind of lifestyle I want to have, what kind of impact I want to make as a leader, as a creator, what kind of content I want to put out there, what kind of positive influence that I want to make in the world. Like, I just really thinking about a lot of those things. I'm just like trying to live every day in more simplified, more focused, more intentional. And because in the past 3 years I've been creating decks, kind of just jumping into one project to another, and I always had these overarching visions about where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do with my business, but I also never really picked something to really focus on. I launched Way Up the Pana Tarot, got it funded, and then I was like, I'm gonna make another deck and I'm gonna like do this project and this project. It was always like very project based. The way I lived my life and planned around my business was very project based, and I was just missing some essence. You know, I was like, of course every single deck that I created is off my essence, everything is the truest like creative expression of who I am, but I'm just like really missing that big picture. I'm just really missing that piece of me stepping into my power and taking a leadership role, because it's awesome being a decorator, it's awesome tapping into my artist archetype, but I'm also like a visionary, and I also have an inner teacher, and I also am driven to be a leader in some way. I want to innovate, I want to like share my ideas with the world, and decks are just not enough. You know, I want to do something bigger. I want to have bigger impact. I don't want to just sell products. You know, I just want to put so many ideas out there because I'm a very, very creative, innovative person. I just feel like decoration checks all those boxes, but it's also like missing the extra oomph. And I'm just like, my soul is yearning for more. You know, now that I've gone through a dark night of the soul, now that I've done so much work that created all this space, you know, from healing, releasing, letting go, and just like recognizing my past wounds, all of that, all of a sudden I have all this space. So that's kind of what prompted this discovery. I really need to decide what I want. Like, I was thinking like, I was doing brainstorming and some just thinking and doing lots of tarot readings on this, and I outlined some goals from all the things that I was considering. You know, I knew that I really wanted to build more influence. I want to have a bigger platform. I want to have a bigger audience, because my true calling, my soul's calling is to share ideas, and to do that I need a bigger platform. I need to grow my audience. So I know that I want to grow my audience. I really want to focus on my YouTube channel this year because I think there's power in video content. So I want to focus on YouTube, and also I know that I want to establish myself as an authority and really step into a leadership role. And I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, and I also want to streamline my business. I want to declutter my business. I want to Marie-Kondo my business. I'm just thinking like, it's just so much. Like, how do I put an arrow through everything? How do I just like drive it home, you know? And I was doing the tarot reading, also meditating and saying some prayers to my guides and my angels, and also just tuning in, listen to what I really want. And it just occurred to me that, hey Kim, like you have all this material and resources that you have created and written about studying tarot. And this is like the magical amalgamation of so many of your interests and passions and talents that your desire for teach, and you love creating and innovating like frameworks and strategies to study. You're a nerd. You love looking at it through the perspective of like metaphors, archetypes, gaming, RPG. It's just so fun and so unique. Why don't you go back to that? Right away, when I thought this, I actually felt like terror, like sheer terror. I was so fucking scared. I was like, no, I can't. And having done the work that I did, right? Having gone through the dark night of the soul and having the awareness I have now and the wisdom I have now, I know this is a good sign, because the more afraid you are of something, that is actually the thing you're meant to do. And I'm not talking about like actual danger where your body is reacting to it and you need to stay the fuck away from it. I'm talking about like stepping into your bigger purpose, becoming a bigger container so you can become that which you're meant to become. And as soon as I experienced that fear, I knew I was on the right track. I was like, jackpot, bingo, this is it. Because anything that you want to do that is worthwhile and challenging, and that's gonna be like rewarding to to the soul, it's gonna scare you at least a little. Like if it doesn't scare you, I think you're not dreaming big enough. And I knew this was the right thing to do because it's easy for me. And I don't mean easy as in like I don't work hard and I don't give a shit. I mean easy as in like it comes naturally to me. It's something that I can just easily express, and of course I need to put in work to kind of manifest it, but it's like it's part of my nature, and I know this is something I'm meant to do. And I just hit that wall of terror, kind of lean into it and dive into it, and just really for the first time in my life listen to what it's saying and understand where it's coming from and what it's trying to prevent and what it's trying to do for me, and also just putting pieces of the puzzle together and also connecting the dots, because I remember this feeling. And I was thinking back, I remember there was this distinct moment where I think I was tested to see if I was daring enough, to see I was big enough of a container for this to truly manifest. And I did not pass the gauntlet that time. That's why I ended up doing other things. Not that they were like less meaningful, but it was just like I understood why I stopped. I understood why I didn't keep going. I didn't do the things that I said I was gonna do. It's because of this fear. And this fear came from, long story short, trauma. When I was younger, I went through a very difficult time in my life. At the time, I didn't know it was a difficult time. It was until I grew up and I realized, wow, that was kind of fucked up. I went through like narcissistic abuse from a writing teacher that I took lessons from, and she was manipulative, controlling, distorted my identity, made me need her, all that, all the dark shenanigan that a narcissistic abuser would do to you. Just Google it. She fits all of it. And some of the negative stories and imprint and toxic narratives that she left, that got installed in my body, was this intense fear of I'm not original, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve validation or love or recognition, I don't deserve anything. And also just this fear of like, if I share myself, if I share the part of me that's imaginative, that loves Harry Potter, that thinks there is a castle in the sky somewhere, not scientifically, but as a sentiment, someone who daydreams, who love cute things, this part of me is not allowed. And it took me years and just so much work to reclaim this part of me, to liberate myself from the oppression that I have experienced from her. One of the most damaging, limiting beliefs that I inherited from this experience was I'm not allowed to be myself. I'm not allowed to dream. Dreams don't come true. It's impossible, because I remember when I was young, I wanted to be the next J.K. Rowling. I wanted to write fantasy fiction. I wanted anything. Basically, you look at Fable's Den now, that is everything I wanted to be. Just magical, whimsical, adult but childlike, hardworking, ingenious, like productive, and all the things we associate with adulthood, but also just with this like amazing flavor of wonder and childlikeness and just magic and tarot cards and all that. All these wonderful things that are not traditionally considered to be worthwhile or serious or effective or worthy of validation, I guess. So in short, she really damaged my identity. Actually, she did not just damage it, she completely destroyed it. I'm still undoing the shit that she's done. And that's why I didn't put myself out there, because of this fear, this resounding terrifying thought in my head. Like, I'm not original enough. I just have this fear of not being good enough. I have this fear of putting myself out there and establishing myself as an authority, or just showing this part of myself that is completely and utterly an expression of who I am, because that one sentence that keeps occurring, that keeps getting stuck on the tip of my tongue, that's just blocking my throat, that's just choking me down. That phrase is, I am not allowed. I'm not allowed. And I realized I have a few gauntlet of that thrown my way when I was sort of working on all this tarot studying stuff a few years ago. I remember there was this girl, and then she launched her website, and part of her website was there's this huge tarot section which also sort of utilizes storytelling to explain tarot to you. And of course, tarot is storytelling. I'm not the first person to come up with this, but you know, obviously I was very proud of my work, and I had that wound of being told that I wasn't original enough, that I wasn't good enough. And when I remember when that happened, I was so triggered. And I didn't understand why at the time. I think I knew I was triggered, but I didn't really have the awareness to really dive deep enough to understand where it was coming from. Now I do. And I think that was the gauntlet. I remember feeling so discouraged and feeling like, oh my god, I wasn't the only one. She's also doing it. I'm not original. I guess that means I'm bad. I guess that means I'm not good enough. I guess that means that I can never ever share my ideas because it's just not good enough. It's just not original enough because it's not the only thing that's that in the world. I think we, as artists and creators and innovators, we're afraid to be copycats, right? We're afraid to do something that's been done before, or we maybe struggle with the fear that, you know, there's just so many similar things out there. Like, what can I do? How can I be better? There's no point if I put out my spin on it. But that's just not true, because there is only one of you. There is only one you, just like there's only one me, and there's no one who's gonna do it like me. And yeah, I remember stopping. I remember feeling so discouraged and just having this mental block every time I think about like putting stuff out there that has to do with tarot studying or practicing tarot and becoming better and leveling up your tarot skills and stuff. I just feel like no one's gonna take me seriously. They don't care about what I have to say. And even though I just received a lot of positive feedback from my YouTube channel, from my community, people sharing their insights with, you know, like after they watch my video, they're just like, this is great, this helped me so much. Like, they gave me a lot of positive feedback. I didn't believe it because, you know, I had that filter on, I couldn't let it in. And even to this day, I'm struggling to let in positive feedback sometimes. If you don't believe that in yourself or for yourself, it doesn't really matter what other people say, you're still gonna think you're shit. But I'm working through it, I'm getting better at that. And I'm just like, getting here, I'm like, this is what I'm meant to do, because it scares the shit out of me. And I realized the past 2-3 years I've done and created many wonderful things. I will not trade them for anything because of the decks I've created. Now I have a business that gives me a full-time income that's supporting my adult life and also my cat, and I'm also able to spoil my family and my friends from that money. And I'm just so truly grateful to be making a living from my gifts, from my talents, from the things I create. But I just really need to honor this calling, you know, to step into this role of being a thought leader and sharing ideas and just being a visionary, you know, being a teacher and teaching and sharing my ideas. And I think one reason why I was so afraid of teaching or just establishing myself as an authority was because, like, I always associated authority with extremely negative things such as toxicity, abuse, control, manipulation, politics. I just didn't really grow up with a lot of positive authority figures. I did have really awesome teachers when I was younger, but you know, when you're traumatized by the other toxic ones, you kind of forget that you had good ones as well. So now I try to remember all the good ones that really influenced me. Here I am, and I'm really kind of like scared shitless because I know there's nothing to be afraid of, because I know you guys love me. And I know that sounds really cheesy. I don't mean that in a narcissistic way. I just mean, like, I'm in a very positive environment. I think everyone in the tarot online community, especially, everyone's so fucking nice. Like, the tarot community is really awesome. And I just feel so nurtured and so embraced and accepted. Guys making a comeback. I'm coming back. I'm gonna jump back on my tarot study, level up tarot stuff. And I remember kind of talking to it. You know, I believe every project, every kind of like thing we create in our lives has a soul, has has a voice, has a spirit, has a name. So I was talking to kind of just intuitively trying to channel. I was just like, I'm so scared that you're gonna leave me because I haven't tended to you for like 2-3 years and you might have just fucked up by now and found someone else. And the impression I got from my idea from this living sort of creative entity that is Level Up Tarot just tells me like, we've been waiting. This is time. This is time. This is time for you to shine. This is yours. This thing is yours. It has always been yours. It will be yours now that you're at a better place to create it, to hold space for it, to really, and also do it without being grinded down by hustle culture, doing it with better health and better awareness and just more peace. So this is actually great. You're more capable and competent and more a leader that is more at ease and more complete within herself. So this is a great time to really take up that role. And also I'm sure taking up this role will help heal the part of me that struggles with authority and identity, and also just like not being taken seriously because, you know, like gaslighting wounds and stuff like that. So I'm really excited, but also scared at the same time. But I'm also excited that I'm scared because I know the other side of my fear is my true calling and my purpose. So yeah, if there's something that you've been wanting to do and you find yourself feeling fear or dread or resistance and you keep finding excuses for it even though you keep thinking about it, that is the thing you're meant to do. It's awesome that you're scared because you're supposed to be scared. If you absolutely have no feeling for it, it's probably inconsequential, like not much at stake there, right? If you can't stop thinking about it, and also if you're really bitter about other people doing it and you're just like, there is a wish in you that is dying to come true, you need to go for it. And I'm going for it. I'm going for mine. I'm really excited. I'm just so incredibly grateful and joyful that this is happening right now. I think this is the perfect time for me to take on this beast, ride this dragon, and just go beast mode and just like really awesome fight, you know? Like I'm just so, what's the word? So strangely at peace with the chaos that's being stirred up, because this is a surefire sign that I'm on the right track, and there's nothing beats that feeling of being and finding your purpose. Okay, so yeah, that's where I am and where I'm going, what I'm about to do, and I just am really happy to share that with you. And if you want to follow my journey, please subscribe to this channel, check out my Instagram and everywhere else, and go adopt a cute deck of mine, Way of the Panda Tarot, and other decks as well. Leave a comment below, tell me what's that thing that you've been burning to do but you keep finding excuses for, but it just like keeps coming back. Tell me, and let's give each other lots of encouragement and positivity, and let's do the thing that scares us, but the thing that is really meant for us to do. That is all, my loves. I'll see you guys next time.